Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you've had a good Sunday. I want to talk a bit about Anthony Joshua. It's getting on for a year since he had that disaster against Daniel Dubois over at Wembley. He's 35 now. He has had injuries, injury to a shoulder. No, is it a shoulder or an elbow? It's an elbow. He's had an operation on it, and it won't mend properly, supposedly. I mean, I think that's probably a legit injury, because when you consider he is the age he is, the older you get, and all the wear and tear on the body, the joints, the ligaments, and so on, they can take their toll gradually, and over a long career, that can happen. But there's no doubt that Joshua still remains a very big name in the heavyweight division, regardless of whether he's damaged goods. And the obvious fight that should have happened years ago and hasn't is Joshua against the currently retired Tyson Fury. Fury will probably come back at some point if there's enough money on the table. I think that's always been a given. But Eddie Hearn's been speaking about Joshua, and he said, Joshua won't fight this year. He said 2025 is out. But January of 2026, that's a possibility. That's a real possibility. But he does not want Joshua in with a top 5 opponent, somewhere between 5 and, 15, something like that, just to sort of test the waters. He did say that, a defeat at this point of Joshua's career would be a devastating blow. Of course it would. And he also described Joshua as having one last roll of the dice, meaning massive money, and that's got to be against Fury. I don't really see who else he can earn huge money against. He's been done by Usyk twice. He got smashed to bits by Dubois. A rematch with Dubois, a bit fanciful, isn't it? Although Dubois himself, of course, has been knocked flat oddly enough, in 5 rounds, which is what he did Joshua in. So they're both licking their wounds and coming off a good old savaging, one from the other. But it is possible. I mean, the opponent will be chosen, to use Hearn's word, carefully for Joshua's comeback. And I think it's a sensible way of doing things. He also said that the logical thing would be for Fury to come back, because there is still a certain allure for the fans, an all-British title fight. No, not title fight, all-British non-title fight. Kind of like Khan and Brook. Remember? That happened years too late, when both were way past their best. Certainly Khan was done to bits. And they'd both been knocked out by Terence Crawford. So it's all a bit... Yeah, but it would, I've said this before so many times, and it is obvious to anyone who understands anything about boxing history, and that is that you can take 2 fighters who are past their best, and they'll give you a damn good fight. And the obvious heavyweight example is the 3rd Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier fight, which is, in my opinion, the greatest heavyweight fight ever, won by Ali on a 14th round retirement. Well, Eddie Futch pulled Joe out after 14. Ali said it was the closest he'd ever been to death, and yet they were both past their best, and they both produced incredibly gritty, grueling performances, and left parts of themselves in that ring that night. But it was an incredible historical fight, and they were both past it, really, or way past their best anyway. So it is feasible that Joshua against Fury could be an absolute blockbuster. And Hearn is a very good promoter. Whatever you think of him, he's an excellent promoter. He soups up the jazz, gets the dancing rah-rah girls kicking their heels, fireworks in the sky. He did it with, Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr., and that was a great fight too. So why not? Why not? But Hearn does describe this as a last roll of the dice, and the logical thing is to put Fury in with AJ. But as Hearn says, and I think he's right in saying this, logic and with Tyson Fury and logic don't often go hand in hand, or very often they don't go hand in hand. As for who Joshua would face in January 2026, if he does fight then, It's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult. I mean, of course, Frank Warren, who is currently good business buddies with Hearn after years of estrangement, that he's got lots of heavyweights. I mean, it's a difficult one. It's difficult. I'm trying to think of a name that I would put him in with. Someone who is going to be, this is probably the wrong word, but a safe opponent, because Hearn will not want to jeopardize a potential Joshua versus Fury matchup. So who's he going to put him in with? Who's a light puncher at heavyweight? There aren't many. Who can AJ outbox if needs be? It is difficult. I don't know. I can't think of a really convincing name. You tell me what you think. I mean, Dillian White's just been splattered by Moses Atalma, and no way should they should put a damaged Joshua in with Moses Atalma. Fuck me, no. Yeah, I must admit I'm at a loss to find a name. But you tell me what you think. Anyway, just a quick update on AJ, really. There hasn't been much going on this weekend, has there, in terms of boxing? That Misfits 22 thing, which was, I watched a couple of fights. It was low level, but the Joey Essex fight was a lot of fun. But let me know what you think about this Joshua situation. Do you think he's got anything left, or do you think he should retire? He's been a two-time unified heavyweight champ. He desperately tried to become undisputed, but Wilder didn't want to know. A lot of Wilder fanboys will say the opposite is true. That is not true. The evidence points towards Wilder, or rather Wilder's team ducking Joshua. You may disagree with that. If so, let me know. But give your opinions below. Thanks for watching the video. And as usual, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Big up all of you. I'll get you later. Bye for now.